Thank you for joining us on the AP YouTube channel for the World Language and Culture Teachers. This session is going to dive into the question bank and using the right question at the right time. My name is Dana Koppelman, and I'm the Executive Director of AP Instruction here at the College Board, and I'm excited to dive into these resources with you today. I hope by now you've had the opportunity to look through the AP YouTube channel to watch other videos we have on these incredible AP Classroom resources. There's a video on AP Daily Videos, one on AP topic questions, one on the progress checks and the progress dashboard, and this final session in the series, using the right questions in the question bank. Before we get into the question bank, I want to do a quick review of the incredible AP resources that we've created in partnership with AP World Language teachers to help support teaching and learning in your classrooms. In May of 2019, we unveiled the course and exam descriptions, or CED binders, for all of the world language courses. This divided each of your classes into units by themes, and for Spanish literature and Latin, also inserted the required readings. These unit guides helped pace the course using the task models and skills students would need to be successful. We complemented these unit guides with AP Daily videos that began launching in September 2020. These short segmented videos, led by incredible AP instructors, helped go through each of the task models relevant to each theme, and then provided a segment on the cultural aspects. Topic questions, which were released last year, align perfectly to the AP Daily videos, can be found in AP Classroom, and provide the much needed check for understanding to give students just-in-time feedback in a formative way so that they can see where they're mastering skills and where they still might want supplemental instruction. Last, the personal progress checks provide end-of-unit formative assessment items to help students practice, get feedback, and give feedback to you to help course correct any misunderstanding before the school year rolls out. You get real-time feedback through a progress dashboard that shows how your students are performing, and students get this feedback as well as rationales about why they're succeeding on certain questions and where they might need additional help where they have misunderstandings. The last of the AP Classroom resources are Question Bank. This question bank allows you as an educator to target and customize practice and assessments for your classroom. You can use them to create homework assignments, quizzes, practice, and have access to the ready-made online practice exams that can be given in an online or paper assignment format using either the lockdown browser or a secure setting in your classroom. The question bank contains thousands of real AP questions, and they can be searched by unit, by task model, by skill, and they can be customized to exactly where you are in your course with your students. I'd like to go into AP Classroom Live now to give you a demonstration of just how this works. If you can follow along, please log in to myap.collegeboard.org. Once you do, you'll be on your AP Classroom landing page. In this case, I'm in Trevor Packer High School because I work for the College Board, and I have access to all of the AP courses available. You should have access to the AP classes for which you are course audit approved. For today's demo, I'm going to dive in to Chinese language. Once I get into the class, you'll notice that the orientation is similar to what goes on in your course and exam description. You have a course overview, which gives you digital access to the CED, a PDF that provides you with the in-depth details of each AP Daily video to help better prepare your instruction and these complementary resources, as well as a pacing guide for flipped classrooms should your instruction have fallen behind in fall of 2020 due to missed instructional time in light of the pandemic. Within each unit, you have access to what task models should be covered, as well as the particular skill that should be paired with that task model in that unit. The relevant AP Daily videos that give your students short segmented overviews of the particular skill and content they need to cover, as well as the aligned topic question, which is noted by the yellow light bulb icon. At the bottom of each unit page are the progress checks. Divided into multiple choice and free response question segments, these provide students with a check for understanding at the end of the unit and allow you to track their progress over time, leveraging the progress dashboard from the quick guide right up here. Across the top, not only do you have the home page where we are right now, but access to the progress checks, as I just said, the progress dashboard, and what we'll get to in a moment, the question bank. Before we go to the question bank, however, I want to make sure to point out a new feature that's recently been added to AP Classroom with the Instructional Resource Search. This resource search allows you to put in any content or keyword in your course, in this case, Chinese language, and search all of the relevant resources within AP Classroom to give you the support you need and customize it to your classroom. Additionally, the Quick Tips Guide provides you with short, deep dives into each asset within AP Classroom, so on your own time, you can learn more and become a super user of these resources. One I will point out is the use of the lockdown browser on an iPad. If your students are currently using iPads, I encourage you to review this as there are updates being made to the app. Let's now look at the question bank. When I click on the question bank, it brings me to the screen that has 3 tabs available for the question bank. The questions, where I can create my custom quizzes, the assessments, where all of my custom quizzes and practice exams will live, and my results. If you've seen our AP YouTube tutorial on topic questions, you'll recognize this as the topic questions exist within the question bank. Our question bank, in fact, hosts most of our questions, and you can tell the difference by the various icons and symbols within. Any question that has a blue shield next to it is one of our practice exam questions. These are items that require the lockdown browser for use. Any question that has a yellow light bulb is our topic question. These are formative questions designed to check for understanding. You can use these in combination with summative questions when you're creating your quizzes, but please note that these aren't at the AP exam level in terms of the difficulty of some of these questions. You'll also see an orange bar next to some questions. If it's next to one of the practice exam items, it means that it's already on a secure form. If it's next to a question without any icon, which is simply a summative AP question that could have come from a previously released exam, from a previous practice exam, or from a CED, if I've already included it in a quiz, it's noted with an orange bar because I may not want to use that again as a teacher. I can either use keywords to search for what I want in my quiz, or the various filters that exist across the top to browse questions. For this demo, I'm going to use unit, and I'm going to go with unit 2, or in fact, let's go with unit 3 for this one. I'm not going to choose a skill that I want to focus on because this is going to be a full unit quiz, but you could if you wanted to. I can choose to have both formative and summative items in my quiz. For this demo, I'm just going to choose summative. I can choose if I want them to be highly aligned, meaning they look just like the current AP exam, or partial, which also includes AP exams from past exams that may not be perfectly aligned to what your students will see this year, but do still have relevant content and skills. I'm going to keep both because I've covered both types of questions in my classroom. I could choose by theme. I could focus on a particular task model should I want to give my students more practice there. I can choose question type. And for this, I'm going to do multiple choice questions. And I can choose security, whether or not they should be given in a lockdown browser. Once I do that, you'll notice that I have 39 questions that have matched my filter. I can now begin to preview questions and create a custom quiz. Because I want to save my practice exams to use at the end of the course in March or April, which we highly recommend you do, I'm going to avoid any of the blue icon questions. So I'll start to add those that are summative because they have no icon, but that haven't been used. They have no orange bar. When I go to add the first question, it gives me the opportunity to create the quiz with a unique name. I'll call this Unit 3 quiz. And you'll notice that where it said browse questions or create quiz, it's now created that quiz for me in the Unit 3 quiz. I'm going to add more questions to this quiz though. So I can go here and simply add them all in. I could preview ahead of time if I wanted to, but I'm going to preview after I've got my quiz created. So I'll go over to Unit 3 quiz. You'll notice all of my questions are in this particular quiz window. I'm going to save this in case my computer glitches, in case I need to walk away for a second. And then before I assign it, I'm going to preview it so I know exactly what my students are going to be questioned on. Here, I could see the prompt, the stimuli, as well as the answer choices. If I click into question scoring and details, I can see the alignment to the CED, and I can also see the right answer. Unlike our formative assessment items, however, there are no rationales for the summative items that exist in the question bank. I can go through and preview each of the questions, and if I want to, I can also switch the order in which these questions appear on my student's quiz. Once I'm satisfied with the quiz I've created, I can click Assign. This is the same Assign screen you'll see for progress checks or for topic quizzes. This, however, is for my custom-made Unit 3 quiz. I'm going to go ahead and assign it to all my sections. I'm going to give a start and end date because this is just practice for my students. I'm going to just give a 2-day window. If you were to do this as a timed summative assessment, you might put a timer on it. You could choose to do it online or in print, and you can choose to have it scored right away if it's multiple choice questions. If it's free response questions, you'll need to do the scoring for your students. I'll go into that in just a moment. I'm now going to assign it, which will bring me over to the assessment tabs where all of the quizzes that I've assigned to my students exist. So you'll notice here is my Unit 3 quiz that I created today, but that none of my students have submitted it yet, as I have fictional students. To see what then happens, I'm going to look at a quiz that has been completed by my fictional students. So for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to look at the Unit 2 quiz and what happened once my Section 1 students completed it. I can either click through the quiz to preview it here, I can click through the status here, or I can go up to the results tab and look at how my students did in all of the questions that I gave them in all of my courses. So here we're going to look at the Unit 2 quiz. You'll notice that I had 10 students take it, and I can see from this quick view that roughly 4 of my students only succeeded in getting 1 out of the 8 questions correct, while the remaining students got between 2 and 3 of the questions correct. It looks like my students might be struggling with either the content or the skill in this particular quiz, so I'll want to dive in to provide better instructional support for my students. In clicking on the quiz, I have 2 options: review the quiz by question or by student. Let's start with question. It seems like none of my students were able to get question 8 correctly based on the results bar. In clicking on question 8, I can listen to what the stimuli was that my students were asked to listen to. I can see what the correct answer is, and then I can also look at where my other students might have misstepped so I can help course correct or perhaps adjust my lesson for the next day to go more in depth on this particular task model. I can show additional AP questions, and if there were aligned AP Daily videos, assign AP Daily videos for supplemental instruction. The other tab, which I find extremely useful, particularly in a year when people are teaching in a hybrid or virtual model, is the Student tab. This allows me to have a quick glance at how all of my students are doing, but to also then provide one-on-one coaching for students who might be struggling more than others on some of the skills in the course. In this case, I clicked on student Vicky Dean, and I can see how she did on each question and go through on a one-on-one basis why she might have gotten the answer that she selected wrong and help her understand better why she didn't select the correct answer. Before I do a recap of how to assign those questions, I want to dig into the free response questions. As I said a moment ago, free response questions are not graded by the AP Classroom system. They are assigned and graded by the teacher using the scoring rubric that we use at our AP Reading. So for this demo, I'm going to use the FRQ from a birthday party. I can either add it and create its very own birthday party FRQ quiz, which will be saved in my assessments, or I can simply preview it to decide if it's the right thing. You'll notice that when you open the preview window, it's going to show you the directions your student will see. It's going to show you the prompt that your students will have to listen to and the ability for what your students are going to see when they record their response. Now, in order to know how to best prepare my students for doing this type of task model, it's important that you click into the scoring guide and details. This again provides you with details on how it aligns to the course and exam description, as well as the interactive scoring guidelines that align to the criteria used at the AP exam. Once your students submit the results, you'll have access to the same interactive scoring guideline where you'll be able to give, in this particular FRQ, your students a score of 0 through 6, which will show them what those scores mean and if you'd like to type in personalized comments for each student. Again, the FRQs are graded by you, the instructor, and you can assign them and grade them right within the system so that you can keep track of your student performance on free response questions over time, and your students can return to your feedback and continue to learn from it throughout the academic year. The last assessment that exists in the question bank, and one that we hope teachers begin to leverage as they get close to the end of the school year to help students prepare for the AP exam, are the practice exams. For every course, we have 3 aligned practice exams already parsed into a full form within the Assessments tab. You'll notice that the blue icon that was in the question bank list of questions also exists here with this form. There are 3 in particular that are ready for AP Chinese: the 2016 practice exam, the 2021 practice exam 1, and the 2020 practice exam 2. Remember, you'll need to use a secure lockdown browser if giving this over the computer or online, or a secure environment in your classroom. From here, I can assign this quiz. Again, details on the lockdown browser should you want more. I can assign it to all of my classes. If I'm doing it online, I'll need to enable the lockdown browser as it already did. I can choose my start and due date or simply set a timer. And I'll need to make sure that I agree to the AP security attestation, which details the difference between the formative and the summative assessment items, and then more closely, those secure questions with the blue shield icon. Make sure you read that thoroughly before you agree to it and assign the practice exam. It's then going to appear in your assessments, and once your students submit it, as you don't have fictional students like I do, the results within the Results tab. So again, the question bank allows you to customize what you need in terms of creating either formative or summative quizzes for your students, practice, or just continued items to give your students for different types of in-class assignments. This is also where the secure practice exams exist, and those that you will need to use the lockdown browser for. I hope that this session has been informative and will better prepare you to use the question bank as you move into the second semester of your course with your students. I want to thank you for taking the time to join me for this AP YouTube tutorial and for all that you're doing for your AP students throughout this academic year. Wishing you a great spring and look forward to joining you for future online events. Thank you.